Oh, it's all been fun and games so far, make no mistake. But now the stakes get ratcheted up a notch. That's right, we're here, of course, at our Kickoff Clash. And in our next two matches, they represent elimination potential for all four of the teams competing, Matt.
Yeah, we got two teams going home later in the day here. And both of these two teams in our matchup coming up, between Florida and Washington. Florida, I think probably people favored them against Atlanta, right? Atlanta was not looking good towards the end of the Kickoff Clash. The number 7 seed viewed Florida as the favorite. They end up losing that one. Then Washington goes up 2-0 against the Shock and not able to close it out. So these are two teams that I think the Justice, they're probably just happy to be playing better at this point. I don't think Florida expected to be down here in the lower bracket.
Yeah, of course, that matchup against Atlanta, we saw Florida really trying to put themselves into a good position to make those Winston-based compositions work for them. They went to Gibraltar. That was really the key map for them to win in that series, and they ran straight into Kai's Widowmaker, and they couldn't counter it. Yes, the map worked for their Winston setups, but they didn't account for the Widow diff. Yeah,
the Widow diff was massive there, and I think, how are you going to run into a Widow like Kai all the time? No, but they got happy on the other side this go around. So we'll look to see in terms of map picks if there's something that Washington can do to get some of that Widowmaker action in.
Yeah, we're curious to see how that team's evolving so far. Let's waste no time and bring them out to the stage. Everybody make some noise for Washington Justice.
Okay, little club vibe.
I'm feeling that. Now, we were surprised yesterday to see Assassin in that starting lineup. We said, okay, maybe what's the purpose and what are they sort of relying on him to provide for them? I think it's pretty safe to say we were pretty impressed. There were actually opportunities to see Assassin bust out the Echo from yesteryear, literally, and show us that he's still very much a key part of this team. There was a substitution later on where Decay came in, and that's where things kind of went downhill for this team. So it's a good look to start with for the Justice.
I thought Krillin played the best I've ever seen him play in the Overwatch League yesterday. Yeah. He was absolutely unbelievable on the Ana. Can you get games out of him like that again? I'm not sure. No, I saw most of the desk. I actually agree with Scott. Personally, I think that the Florida Mayhem, I would pick the Florida Mayhem in this series. I think the Justice, they played extremely well yesterday, but we've seen, the Shock maybe not as good at this tournament as people expected. And also, the Justice on a day-to-day is so hard to judge. I just don't know if they can do it again.
Yeah, and I mean, I spoke to their GM earlier this morning. He said, we went up that 2-0 going into half-time, and he said, guys, this has happened before. We have been reverse swept by the San Francisco Shock. We need to avoid that. We need to put our foot down and get this series done. Unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. They really just ran out of gas there. It's a completely different environment out here at Atlanta. There's so many other factors to account for. This time, they have to have everything tightened up a little bit. Let's bring out their opponents now in this elimination match. Everybody, welcome to the arena, the Florida Mayhem.
I miss the Mayhem with the
palm
props,
tree?
The props,
yep.
Yeah, palm trees. I mean, they're doing everything on the way.
Listen, I don't want to see any of their players looking like props in this series. They need to be very much a part of the action.
You're learning from Jaws with those type of segues.
Yeah, mine now, really. I see. Look, Sir Marjet, again, we talked about Ana, very impactful Ana players yesterday. He was one of them. Again, this is a matchup where those two are going to be highlighted. And I think that someone continues to impress us as his Winston player. It just wasn't enough against Atlanta.
Did you get a sense maybe some nerves for Florida yesterday? Playing for, against Atlanta, right? Atlanta pretty battle-tested in terms of these type of environments. Florida.
Going to Hawaii, getting no points, big travel.
Well, I mean, they're also used to, it's funny, but just kind of being, villainous, right? Maybe some of the fan bases look at that way. You're not going to get fazed by certain situations, right? Where I think being in front of the crowd and even if they're cheering for you, right? It's a lot going on at an event like this, and I think maybe Florida, it was a little much taking it in yesterday, where maybe they're a bit calmer today. Can bring that game because the Justice, they looked calm yesterday against the Shock until the wheels fell off at the end.
The influx of rookies this year to the Overwatch League is extremely high, and so getting them in a LAN environment, that's obviously a challenge to have them settle and be able to perform at their very best. Again, we talk about the veteran presence of Animo on this Florida Mayhem team. He's been on a lot of different looking rosters. And look, Hydron got pitted against a really nasty Widowmaker player when we went to Gibraltar. That is a possibility here too.
But he did look very good in the 76 matchup. He did not look kind of outclassed, I guess you would say, in the Soldier 76 matchup. So it's just that Widowmaker that I think you're worried about. You got a sick one on the other side with Happy. So we have Ilios to kick things off here today.
Yeah, and a great chance for obviously both of these teams to showcase their Winston-based compositions. I know that some people are trying to speak this Orisa from Mag back into existence. It's unlikely we see too much more of that. Again, feels powerful, but once that armor stripped away, you just explode. Yeah,
you're just done for at that point. See if either team comes up with some interesting things. Like we saw Mag on the Doomfist a little bit yesterday. We see some teams picking that up at this event. We just saw Reiner pick up the Reinhardt again. We saw some Reinhardt play. So we're starting to see a little bit more experimentation in the tank role. Orisa yesterday for the Justice. Probably won't see it again today.
I want to remind you as well, it was the Justice that switched to mirror that Lucio Moira setup against the Shock, and that's where Krillin was no longer to have that huge impact that he'd had over the series in terms of dictating the pace on Ana.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic on the Ana. Moira just kind of took his playmaking ability out of the question. So both teams come out the gate. Mirror matchups here. It'll be Assassin on the Tracer going up against Checkmate. I think that's a big battle to watch. I think Checkmate's looked really strong.
He's definitely impressed us this year, getting to showcase much more of those DPS chops. Maybe to the Justice that try to stake their claim to this high ground as both Winstons just try and displace their foes.
What kind of angle are you trying to get here for Florida? I mean, you're kind of playing on this low ground, but even then, Washington has no real visibility either. They have to jump down and they chase someone. So.
Happy would have liked to flank and push further along the top of that lighthouse, but with the dive in from someone, he couldn't do that. Still, they get rid of the Winston, so now they don't need to be nearly as elaborate.
Yeah, just really odd at the beginning, right? Like, Florida's playing everybody pretty far back. Not really any line of sight for the 76 to do big damage, and quite frankly, just a really bad angle from the low ground up to the high ground on that corner. And someone's the only one that goes in, but he gets dropped rather quickly.
Hydron here, trying to find what poke damage he can, but again, it's someone gets eliminated first. The Florida Mayhem, the tip of their spear is broken.
I mean, 2 fights in a row, back to back, really fast as Biotic Grenade comes in. That just really keeps everybody else alive, so Surmagent connects with one, but still, it's going to be about 40+% on the point by the time this next fight kicks off. Is you gotta see from Florida, you gotta keep someone alive for a little bit longer. He's gotta do a better job about getting back to his team, dodging some of those Biotic Grenades.
Again, he's going somewhat deep there, needs to make sure he maintains that LOS between him and Surmagent. 50% now on the clock for the Mayhem, or rather for the Justice, the Mayhem in that deficit. Assassin sees a recall there from Checkmate. Maybe a chance to go more aggressively here. Attack Pfizer from Happy will definitely make sure no one accosts him for the next few moments, so there's no real pressure right now on the Justice.
No, and it kind of just spreads them off of the point, and you're going to get the Nano onto Mag. He gets slapped, but you already did the big damage. You got rid of Surmagent. He had the Nano boost coming online, not going to have it in the fight.
Both Winstons getting some work done there. Assassin gives someone a parting gift, though. And the Justice still entirely unperturbed by what's going on. The Mayhem lack the tools to pressure them. They built the ultimate, so this next fight has to showcase the leveraging of these abilities.
Yes, but you may need to throw all of them in to flip the point back, and this is so easily stallable for the Justice, right? You can get them to burn all of the ultimates here, and even if you lose this fight, you're good for the next one.
Attack Pfizer here from Hydron's going to be a sound barrier, and he chases Happy down. Again, we talked about those ultimates coming out, and you better believe it. They just send them.
I mean, that's to be expected. If you're going to use Sound Barrier, Nano, Attack Visor, if you don't win a fight, I mean, you've done something disastrously wrong. All they pretty much have to do is use those ultimates, push on through, pick up the kills, and it's exactly what I talked about, though. The Justice get it to 99, so just one fight has to go their way.
The Mayhem now need to get it done the old-fashioned way, or rather the new-fashioned way with less ultimates. Happy force back. Biotic Grenade connects. He's able to move forward now, so only scant seconds bought by the Mayhem from that nade connecting. Already contesting the point now. If they can, okay, Hydron's able to deal with Assassin there. Playing pretty far forward as the Mayhem don't want to allow the Tracer to have free reign to wrap around.
And that's what you rather rely on is, Bionic Grenade comes in, that connects with Animo, as that's huge. That's your disengage there, and also some healing up front is might be able to capitalize on this. That's going to be 2.
Checkmate getting caught there. Like, you can't let that happen. The Mayhem's starting to crumble a little bit in this round now. They need to find a little bit more, but the Justice, they can taste the blood in the water. Put it in overtime position now. The Mayhem really economically disastrous in this round. Losing Hydron here is the death knell, no doubt about it.
You do have some players coming back off spawn, so someone going to come back. You have Animo in the mix. Attack Visor comes down. Yeah, big damage coming in here from Happy on the side.
Oh my word, Happy catches Animo there. And despite what the scoreboard might indicate, pretty smooth sailing for the Justice.
Yeah, it's just that one fight that Florida wins to get that 57%. You never felt like the Justice were in trouble. Like, even if you lose there, you know, you still have another fight or 2. So they really getting dominated. The opening sequence there is, I think both teams probably want to keep this comp running throughout most of this map. I think probably even through most of this series.
There's a good chance of that. Like we talked about Mag obviously making a Doomfist switch. Again, that was definitely under some degree of duress. If the Justice aren't being tested in the mirror, why change anything? This comp also works just fine with Decay coming in, if not better. Here we go. So no Echo here for the Justice, which was a possibility with Assassin in the lineup. It will be mirror comps maintained.
You gotta wonder if you're gonna most likely play Tracer like a lot of the time. No, Decay is obviously a fantastic Tracer. That's going to be checkmate getting an opening kill there.
Yeah, Opener overextends to make sure he lands a boop on someone to knock him off course. Somehow, though, the dive is there, and Mag doesn't have to do too much. He just surfs on the roof while his DPS go to work.
And all you have is Lucio healing currently for the Florida Mayhem, and you have some players that are low. Like, can you cross this large open gap with the 76 just railing down from the high ground and take the point? Because Assassin can just keep this contested, or at least can try to, as he has to step off for a quick second, but Mag on the high ground is doing big work right now.
Assassin's wary of the boop, right? That's going to force a recall instantly from him playing from outside of the point. So now he'll continue to harass from the side. That was a shot that came in from Sir Margin on the high ground. Hydron a little low. Mag also is taking a bit of a licking here, so you see him sitting in the top right of your screen. He's slept, in fact.
He actually drops some players to the low ground, and he's actually putting so much pressure up there, trying to not let Hydron get set up. Now drops down onto the point.
I mean, that's perfect. Happy really punishes someone. He finds an angle that someone can't reposition quickly enough on the point. You don't want to be on the point when you got a soldier that has such a sick sideline. Happy dropped down to get that kill.
You feel like it's just a matter of
oh!
where it flips over to the Justice, and there it goes. So Justice get control. They don't have to use anything to get that. As this next fight coming up, Mitch, you're gonna look like everybody having ultimates across the board. I think like who can protect these 76s on the high ground? Like Mag, you see it on your screen here, doing a nice job trying to take that position already.
That sound barrier for Animo, Matt. He's well ahead of Opener. It can be a key factor, providing it's not broken up by Winston bubbles or sight line breaking. Hydron has to keep his head down right now. Right, there's the dive for the Florida Mayhem. They're trying to take the initiative here, but Happy drops down, and he has that tactical visor to work with. Nano on top of it, which means that there was no way someone wasn't going to get mulched. What a sleep. What a finish there.
And Florida ends up using their sound barrier, their visor, and a pulse bomb there. But the damage is so big coming out from Happy with the nano visor early that Hydron just gets deleted. Like before he even gets the benefits of the sound barrier, just basically insta-kill. So now you'll have Primal Rage to keep this going, and you'll have your sound barrier here from Washington. So good set of ultimates coming in here to really push this to probably a one-fight territory.
Being in the lead as well, the Justice love to extend that with a good use of the beat. Opener needs to be careful. Okay, he's able to get the beat away before someone can continue to juggle him. Keeps Opener alive through most of that Primal Rage. Mag will have his as well. Someone has to pull out there and reset.
Yeah, and he's going to get a nano now, someone, and go to the high ground, and he actually gets booped down to the low ground. So someone absolutely in no man's land right now. Can't make any type of play. Like, look where he is on the Winston, just kind of like walking around. hit with a pulse bomb is that is really, it's a really nice play by Opener to be able to get that boop, knock him to the low ground, and when he gets knocked to the low ground, that's when Washington Justice push through, kill his backline. And that'll be it, as the Justice, they take map number 1.
Some confident looks there. Mag says, I hope you're looking at my play of the game right now, chums. As Florida Mayhem look a little shell-shocked after that first round. Mirrored compositions, and this is what Florida wanted to force in their matchup against Atlanta, but it's a completely different beast, a different foe in front of them. And they're coming off second best right now. It's going to have to be drilling down on the fundamentals for the Mayhem. Plenty more left in this series, plenty more life in the Mayhem yet. Let's see what they can bring out after this. And yeah, it feels real good to be here at LAN once more, the Dallas Fuel Kickoff Clash Tournament. Now, if you guys are here at the venue, and I'm looking at you collectively presently, you could be missing out on some fantastic in-game rewards as a part of the location-based rewards in the Overwatch League app. Install the app, connect your account, head over to the League Hub tab on the far left in the bottom, and click on the gift icon in the top right and get yourself an Overwatch League Winston skin, League tokens, and some sprays.
We know you guys have phones now.
Yep. We have found that out through extensive market research.
We know you have phones.
Yep.
We see some of you currently now on your phones.
Shout out BPL.
You can do that. Claim those rewards.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Obviously, the Overwatch League skins are, like the Overwatch League themed ones are pretty hard to get. Usually only through viewership rewards and such, so make sure you get some of those, plus some League tokens.
We didn't even get them coming to the events. Now we can get them.
That's right. Here we are, though. The Florida Mayhem better be collecting their rewards quickly if the game keeps going this way.
Oh, they better have gotten their rewards already with this going. I'm kind of shocked. I thought Florida would like settle down a little bit with, you know, hey, we kind of played a little bit rough yesterday. Like, let's come on, bring it back today. Didn't really trust the Justice yet again, but man, I looked wrong.
I mean, that first map was a bit of a sloppy jalopy from the Mayhem. Very, I mean, losing someone 2 fights in a row first means that they don't have the mechanism to set the pace of the game. Midtown is going to be the second map chosen in this series, of course, by the Florida Mayhem. Let's see what they've got cooked up on this map. It's another one where we see plenty of these Winston comps, and defensively, the Winston comps look quite good, Matt, on that second phase of the map where you can sort of dive down on the attackers.
And I think it's scary for Florida because the type of play style you played in map number 1 is kind of what you want to play, what you think you could take advantage of from the Justice. So to come out on the losing side of that, kind of double down here as you go into Midtown. You'll be able to play a lot of the same stuff as no substitutions for either team. You're really just kind of looking at the Justice DPS. What's going on there is Decay not in again, so it'll be Assassin. We saw Decay yesterday for a little bit.
It really feels like a different look for the Justice. Like, we don't want to sort of mischaracterize the play style of Assassin versus Decay. We kind of talked about the roles they filled last year when they played together. A lot of the time, Assassin was expected to perform without a lot of resources invested in him constantly, and sometimes the heroes he'd play, like Sombra, for example, were emblematic of that and allowed him to play in that way. Here on the Tracer as well, you can see he's really been there with Mag. Less of like the solo play instinct, it seems.
And that allows you to focus more on Happy. It allows Krillin to make some more offensive plays, right, as we've seen. It'll be the Florida Mayhem on offense. Let's see how they go with their first approach. Play out a grenade from Krillin. Connects with 2 right off the rip. It's like a slow approach to the choke. Is like the Tracer in the 76 will want to go towards his alley, try and make a wraparound.
There's a dive from someone, but all it really does is stake a claim to some space here. No one really there to capitalize. A lot of longer range poke happening in this part of the map. You see, obviously, Sleep Dart could be very dangerous for Happy, so he needs to be very careful on that corner. Again, someone misses the mark in trying to dive that Soldier.
And he has to be careful when diving onto the 76 and blocking the line of sight of the fire truck, and is on and not able to heal him. You see right now, has to jump out for a quick second.
Yeah, again, that will definitely limit him. Okay, this is better though. Stays in Margin's line of sight, forces the Justice to play back inside the garage and start capturing the point. It's taken a couple of jumps to get him here, but now the rest of his team can join and start to keep, you know, Happy and Mag caught inside. Mag trying to open things up and jump on out. Another jump off the wall for someone. He could be in trouble. There's no jump cooldown left, but Happy's playing conservatively here.
Yeah, and you have Assassin on the point as he's put big damage down into someone and goes up to the high ground for some healing. It's been quite odd since they moved on to the point. The Justice were pretty much full HP and didn't decide to move forward. Then they lose Krillin.
Yeah, the DPS peeled away from Krillin to try and find a better angle on someone. Krillin was on his own, had to nade himself and still got taken down. Bit of a rotational error from the Justice there. It's tough to play from this position, to be sure. But now they're going to be giving pretty much the whole point up. It's Assassin and Happy moving in with Opener now. 3 players, but they're going to be facing down the tactical visor of the Mayhem. Have to back away from this. Key ultimate. Soundberry comes half a second too late. That's devastating for the Justice. They need to get it done with 4, and now Hydron is turning up the heat.
And you have a nano boost given on to Mag. He jumps onto the point. You're not close to the primal yet. That's what you're trying to play for here. It's Krillin not able to get in line of sight. As things kind of fall apart for the Justice at the end. Didn't really love how the second part of that fight went.
I mean, you can see how much of those fights were predicated on where the Anas were relative to the Winstons. The fact that Happy and Assassin had to leave Krillin on his own for that split second to get a better angle was what cost them to start the fight. come back in with Tac Visor doesn't really give them the result they're looking for.
This could also snowball in favor of the Mayhem rather quickly. Now the cart going to move around, get close to this first corner. You see some players trying to take control of this high ground already, but with your sound barrier, your pulse bump, primal rage here is, Mag gets you with a biotic grenade, so he has to give up this top platform. It's gonna be a really fast take here on this second point.
Mag needs to try and regain some of this space now without going too far. Notice he's trying not to overextend, playing on top of the scaffolding there. Checkmate also doesn't want to hard commit too much to the high ground. The Justice tentatively have it, but the cart is moving under them already, so they must drop in a few moments. Nice little boot there to redirect Mag as he tries to start something up.
So it'll be Mag with a primal. He's going to knock these players really far back on Florida, but I don't know if it's going to result in like anything, really. A nice sleep here.
Yeah, woken up.
Yep.
Again, not really much health to work with now. 500 seems like a lot. Not up against Soldier and Ana, just blow you up. Someone trying to pressure Mag. His teammates can't see him, and Hydron forced them away with a tactical visor threat. Opener can't really wall right away from this threat either, and that recall being forced from Assassin. Not good signs here for the Justice. Momentum favoring the Mayhem, and they're making extensive use of it.
Without doubt, I mean, Mag uses that primal rage, goes for the supports and the 76, and gets nothing. And he gets so split from the team, they're trying to collapse back on, but some good ultimates here is the Justice looking like they want to touch this maybe, and it's going to be a fast push here from Florida. Going to use the sound barrier, get aggressive, try and fight it before they can even get a chance to touch.
Margin punishes Opener in a big way there. Bionic Grenade connecting onto the Lucio, follow it up with the sound barrier of your own, and you are in a much better position. Now the Justice maybe want to try and get out alive. Mag.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, low.
Snag going to get some more payload progress here, for essentially free, right?
3:30 on the clock, a lot for the Mayhem to work with here, and an extra sort of contingency against another Mag dive in the form of that pulse bomb, unless Checkmate wants to look for something himself. Right now, they're probably content to push. Happy sidelines a little constrained by virtue of the cart being where it is.
It's also probably hard to play aggressive with this Tac Visor in this position because there's so many areas where Florida can spread and hide. You almost want to wait until they have to turn this corner and come out into the open.
Or just get in their face with the nano, right? Just run at them.
Yeah.
Which we've sort of seen before to break through chokes by some teams. Okay, no recall available for Checkmate, so he needs to stay scarce.
I mean, there's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really feel like you can go maybe more aggressive with that, but
even if you go around that corner, you can get crossfired from different ways.
They nanoed him. They're trying to keep Happy alive. It wasn't enough. Checkmate bulldozes him.
It's like you would have loved the nano, like this corner that they're about to turn, where like that home stretch, that's where the nano could have been really effective from Happy. Right, you have the nano and the Tac Visor here. It's like wide open. They go around that pillar, still open, not a lot of rooms to go into. At that moment, that's where the Visor would have been really effective.
These sidelines really start to favor Hydron now, and he knows it. Tactical Visor, nano boost, pressure on Mag. Sound barrier has to be used there by Opener. A sleep dart on the Winston. It's got to be a primal from Mag. And even then, he's barely getting out alive. He's low and will be chased down by Checkmate. The Tracer starting to have some impact. Assassin wants to try and reciprocate, and is going to be somewhat to fall. A big clutch helix rocket from the periphery from Happy will break the deadlock and give the Justice some room to breathe.
Yeah, so we're on board with Hydron, and he ends up using the Visor. Everybody able to get back into the spot and play really deep. So Mag gets the primal rage the right time. So we got here with about like what? It was like 3 minutes plus you were talking about, like on the clock. You're already down at a minute 30. So pretty decent hold from the Justice here. Where it looked like it was going to get out of control.
They've been on damage control map for about half of this map after losing the initiative in that second phase. Now they have a sound barrier to work with here. It's going to be instrumental, especially if there's some pressure headed in Margit's direction. Glancing blow on Assassin. He's forced to play back. A Checkmate is hunting. Pulse bomb thrown down. It's going to pull the sound barrier out of the Mayhem here. They want to try and dig deep, and Hydron getting Assassin is a great start. Checkmate happy enough for the time being, allowing the Justice to come forth and emerge from their hiding holes, but Happy gets nanoed. Tac Visor, though, really gets nullified, and Hydron's in such a good spot to work here. The Justice had players to touch, but they were otherwise occupied.
And they miss an opportunity there. When Happy gets the tac visor out, they spread a little bit, and Animo is right on the corner, and they know where he is. There's two players looking at him, and nobody like jumps on him. Like Mag was right there. He could have just like went at Animo, probably could have finished him off himself, or forced him around the corner, and Happy would have taken him out. They just kind of sit there. Everybody got Mayhem signs today.
It's a lot of bricks.
Yeah, not sure that's the official hashtag, but
well,
at one point,
for a time.
Yeah.
For a blissful time, yes.
Yep.
So 51 seconds on the clock for the Florida Mayhem. And you mentioned, Matt, that about 90 seconds did get shaved off in that last phase of the map, but given how treacherous Midtown can be, I think you're pretty happy with that now as you move to defense. And look, some key moments there as well from Checkmate. He goes hunting, but it's Hydron that connects with Assassin with a big Helix rocket. And that last phase of the map really suits him. It's well within his optimal range. Hard to flank and pressure him as defenders. Good looks from the Florida Mayhem after a slow start.
Do you think you feel comfortable as Florida, though, with that?
Never. Not on this map. Not on a Winston-based defense composition either. We see... It's one of the most volatile, one of the most
so easy to get punished.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that has to happen is a Winston gets put out of position, or someone puts a bubble over your Lucio when he's sound barring, and everything just goes the wrong way.
You can get picked off so easy as well by the 76 with like an Ana shot coming in. And
if there's a sleep dart, especially, or a Helix rocket Ana shot, it's over.
Yeah, Helix rocket Ana shot. I mean, it's so powerful.
Mayhem group is high ground here. Obviously very convenient for someone to drop down. It's just Hydron is the issue. Needs to keep tabs on where Margit's playing from. Oh, the body block of the sleeping Winston. Someone even going to survive that. That's huge.
It's also not a great position for Mag to jump into. Makes it very difficult on Krillin. There's going to be a bubble coming in the way. The bubble's not going to get broken. Can't really do anything in that range unless the bubble breaks in time, gets a nade out. Like, it makes it really difficult for Mag to get any type of healing there.
You have to be an excellent Winston player to find success in situations like this. And speaking of the devil, someone able to dispatch Assassin now, and this gives the Mayhem a bit of a green light to pressure a little bit further under this underpass.
Maybe if you're Washington, do you try and take like the alleyway here? Do you try and go for high ground? It seems like a lot of teams just go for this lower approach, try and maybe poke a little bit, and then get over the opposite side of the fire truck and make a play.
We've talked about this team being on the same page, or rather not being on the same page, a lot. If it's still an issue, it's going to be exposed here. Mag dives towards the garage. Look at the Winston bubble, cuts off line of sight. That's someone putting it down to make it half a margin to keep Mag standing, forces Mag to get out prematurely. The Nano on someone, though.
They disengage completely. As soon as the Nano comes out onto someone, they run away. So it's going to be Hydron here on a flank as well with a visor.
Happy tries to go aggressive with a visor of his own, but it's the bionic grenade from Margit that shuts him down. Hydron getting rid of Assassin. That's a big deal. He's relatively safe in his position as the Justice are very sporadically distributed.
He goes from the high ground. He actually goes through the subway car and comes all the way around, drops down the opposite side of the choke with a tac visor from behind, enough to clean up, finish off a few of the players. As the Justice in some trouble now. Minute 35 or so on the clock. You got a pulse bomb, you got a sound barrier here. Might be your only sound barrier of this half.
Decent setup though for the Justice. Got Mag in a position where he can be tended to, and he's able to create that space and put the Mayhem back on their side of the map. That's a stick. Oh, checkmate! Someone order a special delivery. Mag there, primal, getting real angry. No one there to see it at this time though. Now the pressure comes on, and Animo's there with a sound barrier in time as Margit was feeling the heat. Getting rid of Krillin though is someone, and Mag walks away with nothing. Frustrating, I'm sure, for the Justice. Getting Sir Margit though means now this fight goes longer. Someone has no healing available, and the door's now open for the Justice.
You don't have a tick though, so you can regroup here if you're Florida. It'll be checkmate going on, getting a touch. So still not even one tick. Now you'll get that first tick. You're going to get close to a second one, but you're at full strength if you're Florida. You're also going to have this nano boost, so you can contest.
Florida bide their time. This needs to be well executed though. Someone drops down onto the point, they'll bite it, go down to the back line, and Mag is going to be able to chase Hydron down. Happy Happy has a very safe vantage point now as well. Florida were unable to really scout the position of the Justice players, and that nade ruined their day.
Mag puts enough pressure on the supports where they have to rotate out. They're not able to see someone, so not able to use that nano boost. You end up holding on to it. Maybe you want to hold on to it as well for the 76 on the high ground here. Use it on the attack visor coming in as Washington barely scrapes through, getting that first point.
They start on the right foot here, though, by having Mag just surge ahead and play pretty safely around that corner. Happy has an excellent advantage once more. Mag, a defensive biter grenade there, thrown in his direction. Assassin's Pulse Bomber could have been big, but it's stuck on the door frame.
A nano onto Mag. This feels real early.
Yeah, I mean, the Mayhem were able to fall back pretty quickly, and now that nano's expired. This is where we're going to try and pressure and punish Mag a little more. Hydron knocked up there, able to find opener with that nano visor.
That nano on a Mag was pretty bizarre. Was not in a position to engage, go in. Didn't catch his health before that, like maybe just to heal him up, and then they thought he was going to go. The only other thing I can think of is maybe they were actually trying to get Happy rotating around the staircase and get him up there with the nano and the attack visor, and just kind of Mag walked in front and just threw it all away. It's just a really weird play.
It looks strange.
Yeah.
It was, and the Mayhem were able to disengage with plenty of warning.
Definitely felt strange after he got it. Nothing really happened.
Well, this is going to delay things a little more. Mag hit by the bio. Someone able to get a lot of information playing from this position. And he can make a counter dive attempt of his own here. Look at all the attention he's taking. Well, meanwhile, Mag getting slapped around a bit. Here's that primal range now. Fists are flying. Ooh, the juggling is a little scary. Happy could be in some danger, but Hydron's able to find opener as well. Even better for the Mayhem. Someone gets out and says, the one kill on Ilios? More than enough.
So a few fights go in Florida's favor. This is a very difficult point to cap because you're also, if you're the Justice, right, you have to get it under the underpass completely, then around that corner where you can really stall out pretty well at the end. If you're the Florida Mayhem, so Florida puts themselves in a really good spot.
That's where you had to see the body block to make it so that someone couldn't actually just jump out of that position. Nice job by the Justice, identifying that opportunity to punish the Winston. Player advantage. Kark, though, still needs to move well and truly under this little bridge, and Mag's not able to body block and prevent Hydron from getting back to safety. He has to do the same.
He's going to make it out with his life, though, and 5 ultimates here for the Justice to try and extend this map.
Yeah, so Marged right in Happy's face there. He's able to get a body grenade onto the Soldier 76, but the sound barrier means the Justice can shrug those effects off pretty comfortably. They burst forth here in this overtime, and they're able to get the advantage. There's no way Checkmate's going to get away with this as Krillin finds a bio just for him, and it will be that second checkpoint here for Washington.
Well, that's one way to do it. Brute force with the attack visor. Some kills here. Following up towards the end. Not as much of a stagger as we saw our first half, but not a lot of time to get this over, to complete the map. In 1:12 on the clock, you're looking at, what, 2 fights, 3 fights possibly, with how long some of these go. If you're Florida, I probably consider trying to take a fight early, right? Contest the card, draw them out of this position.
Hard to do, though, with anyone but someone. Krillin here. Oh, the nade! Okay, Checkmate was able to even the legend. There were 2 kills. Krillin dropped down. Checkmate handily dispatching the entire backline of the Justice, effectively stopping that push.
It's huge. You just use that pulse bomb. You're able to stop the push right there. This is going to burn a lot of time off of the clock and put the Justice in desperation territory. And now you're going to force the Justice to run right into you, and guess what? You have that nano visor. You can give that nano to Hydron and let him go to work.
Pulse bomb yeeted there by Assassin, with the Mayhem spry enough to keep clear of it. No recall available for Assassin, and needs to wait for just AoE heals by the looks of things. But again, the backline for the Mayhem is gone. I mean, Florida are doing what you kind of asked, Matt, playing fairly far forward, but they are exposing Animo and Marged to the aggression the Justice have here. Washington, stay of execution.
That's okay, though. If you're Florida, you got out the primal range. That's a huge ultimate in terms of stall and just displacement. You can come back now. You have your own primal. You have your own nano visor. You might have one on the other side, too, though. Now Happy, we'll see. He's got this. And oh, that's an early kill and a checkmate.
That's huge. Krillin able to line checkmate up there. A lot of burst damage taken, but Hydron's looking to make use of that visor now. He's hit with a body grenade for a brief moment, but now he's able to punish. Assassin trying to back away. What a connection with the Helix. But the Wes attack visor is own now. Overtime's ticking, pushing towards the card. Happy fights two, and Mag gets involved. The Washington Justice digging their heels. And now it's a matter of getting rid of someone. How much time can he buy for the rest of his team? Jumping back in their direction with a biotic grenade will seal the deal. Thoughts?
I feel like that one Florida is going to wish they had back. They have an opportunity there. Nano Visor comes up big. I thought Mag did a really nice job playing around the cart, dodging that. But it's, it's Happy with a great visor. It's also Krillin hitting a biotic grenade
early.
So he hits a biotic grenade. They get rid of checkmate. That's a good point. He hits a biotic grenade onto Mag, onto the payload. As soon as the visor is popped by Happy, it's a primal from someone, sleeps him. They're able to wrap around. They go past him so the visor doesn't just wake him up. And he's like the only healer up for a lot of that time as you lost opener. So sick play again from Krillin.
It's an odd choice of name, considering that his namesake has a habit of dying first in the anime, and he just never does.
I have never watched any anime in my entire life, so I would have no idea about that.
Probably just called himself.
I think one person booed.
I mean, tough crowd, holy.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
I mean, they have the Cowboys here, they're used to booing.
Oh dear, I'm glad I'm up here. All right, a minute 51 for the Florida Mayhem. Again, like you said, probably wish they had that one back in a position to, end the round in that overtime, but Krillin strikes again, taking checkmate off the table.
And you really wonder about the momentum, just kind of like on the stage right now. Washington caps it at the end. Florida feel like they probably had it won. If Washington's able to take this point early,
don't say it. No way.
You're able to turn this map back into the favor of the Justice. That'd be tough.
It took them literal eons, the Justice, to really get all their ducks in a row for a successful push. Mag, that biotic grenade, can he slink away? Yes! The Mayhem are so risk-averse right now. They don't follow the Winston that has his healing denied.
Just trying to find an opening right now. Playing a little bit safer. So they know there's an opportunity to catch somebody out here on this high ground, I feel like.
There's another bio. This one hits onto someone. Still tough to find an opening. The Justice again taking their sweet time, but that's something they've got very little of right now. 3 seconds left in the round and they've lost Mag. Assassin has to recall. He was on the point, yes, and he'll be able to trigger overtime, sure. The Justice just don't have the pieces in play right now. Assassin looks to pressure once more. Another recall was there. Happy forced out of line of sight by Hydron, who really has a very target-rich environment. Helix rocket connection. Assassin has to blink through him and will blink no more. Mag just lands on Margit, but there's no chance to touch the point after that. The Justice come away with 0 ticks, 0%.
Yeah, it's a nice biotic grenade from Jed at the beginning. Lands right on top of Mag, and they're he's trying to juggle around his bubble, stay alive. Not able to do so. Things just fall apart there. Once you lose your Winston there at the choke, it's tough.
And now you need to find a way to force the draw. In fairness, both teams were reluctant to get too aggressive. I think the fire truck on point A really poses quite a significant logistical issue for these teams in terms of making sure they can bloody see their main tank.
Yeah, because you try and dive a little bit further than that, there's so many corners that you can't rely on the Ana to just get through the choke alone, right? So it'll just be one tick here for the Florida Mayhem.
Florida need this
map number 2.
They need this map.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
To play as well as they did on their map pick, and to not be able to take it and and get themselves even in this series would be pretty heartbreaking.
It's just a brutal feeling losing your own map pick, right? I guess you feel it's fair to go down, losing the maps that you choose, but still, it's quite brutal in such a, what looks at least this far on this map like a very evenly matched game.
But again, as these teams, if there's an inability to coordinate their Winston dives, it gets exposed big time on a map like this. So a minute 50 to work with, everybody. The Florida Mayhem may be able to cycle into some ultimates, but I mean, not too many.
It's one of the more punishing chokes, you would think, right?
Someone's playing for counter dive positioning right now.
Trying to bait them in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Hydron's trying to guarantee nice wide flank, pretty safe sight lines. Again, there's a lot of rumination that has to occur early in the row. Oh, someone's low on HP. Someone sees Mag looking a little haggard and makes the dive. Assassin gets caught out there in the Mayhem. They pick their spot to perfection. Now it's a matter of sticking the landing. Only one tick's all they need, and a big old bio-nade from Sir Marjed. A perfect 10 from the judges. And the Florida Mayhem even up the series.
Not a fan about how the Justice played that on defense. And Krillin so far back, put Mag in a position where he gets really low. They have to drop down. As Florida Mayhem fans are excited now, Mitch.
And so they should be. A good look for them. Again, in those mirrored Winston compositions, Florida look vastly better on this map. They look like they're in tune with each other. And their approach to point A on Midtown was extremely fruitful. Washington Justice now is back to the drawing board. Make sure everybody is aligned as map 3 looms large. The man, the myth, the luchador. That's right, for just 200 League tokens, you can get the Kickoff Clash legendary skin, Luchador Reaper. On sale now through June 25th. The best hero in the game, Matt.
Yeah?
Very
What's
powerful.
your opinion?
He's very powerful. Yep. Especially when he comes in from the side, flanking, you know?
Yep. Undetectable.
Unless it's this meta and he just like shadow steps in front of you.
Yeah.
But he has a Zarya bubble, so it's fine.
So we go into the third map in the series, all tied up, one apiece. It'll be the Justice map pick, and I think what's interesting about the Justice map pick, no subs coming into this next one. Ross is going to say the same. They go with Watchpoint Gibraltar. So we talked a little bit about the Widowmaker battle at the beginning of the series, where the Florida Mayhem picked this map into the Atlanta Rain, and Kai on the Widow was crazy good. You got happy on your side if you're the Justice. You probably saw that yesterday and were like, we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you come in here and pick it. But see how Florida adjusts, though. Because Florida, they tried to play the Widow at first, then they started to play some of the Genji Tracer. I wonder what they decided to do early on.
We've been discussing how these teams are using their Winston comps a lot in this series, because obviously that's the only thing they've been playing. And it's quite different than talking through the Zarya or the Reinhardt looks, because there's a really big macro element of like rotation to where your supports are, and also the micro element of like people just being ready to back the Winston up. It makes it like a little bit more in the weeds, I guess, to try and talk about how these two teams are going when it comes to executing those looks. But here, I mean, and as we saw on sort of Midtown, we know what the win conditions definitely are for the Florida Mayhem here, and they are really about Hydron being able to have an impact, not necessarily take Widow duels, but also to sort of punish someone like Opener who has to maybe play towards the ground.
He just needs to be a threat to Happy, right? You can't just let Happy take these sight lines, block it off, dominate them, get headshots.
You have to believe you can win.
Force yourselves into positions. Even if you can't win, just keep it honest, right? A Genji for the Justice, so you're gonna put a lot of pressure onto Hydron, right? With Genji and Widow.
Yeah, Hydron's gonna have to be looking front and center, and of course for any flanking opportunities. Mag with a Bionade hit there. It's gonna be covered up pretty comfortably now, as Happy's playing towards the ground right now, trying to be a little bit less predictable about the angles he chooses to take, like this one. Okay, yeah, headshot, very cool. Someone smarting from that one, but the Justice gets slowed up by a triple bio hit.
So they have to slow down for just a second, but having the Widow on the side of the Florida Mayhem, that doesn't allow Happy to just take this position and just sit and dominate this high ground, but ooh, Happy rotates around, finds a headshot on the checkmate.
I mean, Assassin's doing a lot of work there as well, so much poke damage to follow up the dive. The Justice, yeah, I mean, it stands to reason that they feel pretty confident in this setup, and now, for Hydron, there's only so many positions you can actually take here. Those should all probably be, Happy's aware of kind of all of them.
When you have Mag already sit up on the high ground, someone forcing him back, but you have Mag up on the high ground, you have the Widowmaker to deal with, and then also a Genji. Like, there's really, Hydron needs some help to get out of that position.
Someone's sleeping and he's nanoed. Oh my! Stop the clock!
Check him, PC.
I mean, this is what we kind of teased and what we were looking for from the Washington Justice. A Widow player potentially without equal.
It's a good thing we don't have Cussa and Jaws in here. Jaws would have cursed. And that, I mean, that was a wild shot. I mean, what in the world was that?
And this is what Happy provides. A very few DPS players can. Unreal.
A very few.
Flick aim.
Have you seen anybody else do that?
Not really. Okay, Primal Rage here for someone. Again, no singular target for him here, but as much as he can displace, he'll try to. Hydron's taken down by Assassin. It's not a good sign here for the Mayhem. Someone is also getting awful low, and Happy finishes the job.
Can you win a point off of just one kill? I mean, that was just like...
Well, you can win a heart off one kill.
Oh, I mean, that is just... There's nobody who hits shots like that in the league. That is just an unreal... No, we saw that clip the other day where Happy was getting juggled and like hit the Tracer. I mean, that one was even more impressive.
Dangerous times now, and it's a recall. Assassin does see a Brigitte in front of him and thinks better of it. But again, this is enough to keep the Justice moving now. That Infrasight about to time out, still yielding valuable information for Happy, who takes a bit of a strange angle here on the low ground and moves the card at the same time. Assassin lingers a little too close though to someone, and that's the risk with Genji here. Hydron, beautiful. 2 headshots, 2 supports down.
That's big for the Florida Mayhem. You get control of the shuttle up in the high ground, you take away some of those sight lines, and you let Hydron punish. This is where he can really start to turn up, make an impact.
And now he gets to, you know, assume a bit more of a friendly position for Widowmaker, using the contouring at the top of that shuttle to be a little bit unpredictable. Happy has eyes for another though. So Margit inside the shuttle was hoping to catch a glimpse of. Oh, Adamo, he turned his shield to the side. Prime opportunity for Happy to capitalize upon, and pretty sure Margit went for a sleep dart there. It's all going wrong now for the Mayhem. They're gonna have to regroup.
This is a map that Florida probably feels pretty good on as well. They ended up picking it yesterday against Atlanta. Where, I mean, I think it's just you're running into, what, 2 of the better Widowmakers in the region, right?
One after another.
Yeah.
All right, Animo here. Hit with a body grenade, but still the rally. Gonna keep him fairly durable now. Assassin. Pressure here as he's not already being looked at. Hydron could be in trouble. Getting worked down by that SMG, but okay, not bad. Showing the foot. We'll take that. Assassin unable to complete the kill now, and Krillin under a lot of pressure has to bionate himself, and that's not really enough that the card snuck over.
Yeah, the card snuck over. I was gonna say, this is great at the end, but the card's already through.
Frustration bubbling surely for the Mayhem here.
It is tough to be Hydron here. I mean, we've seen him hit some nice shots thus far, but he is under so much pressure. It's gotta be so difficult to operate.
All right, Hydron reveals his, but okay, that's just a little obscure, isn't it? That's a sweaty gamer spot. Happy. Okay, all right. Hydron's in the building, and just a half-second more charge for Happy. That could have gone the other way. Very close.
You just got to hit a few of those, right? They scare Happy from taking those really aggressive angles.
Force him to respect you.
Yeah. So both Widows going to have Infrasight. I imagine they counter each other. You should get a little stalemate for a bit. There's one. There's the other.
Defensive Widows tend to hold on to those Infrasights until they hear them. Don't want to be disadvantaged and don't mind too much about having an Infrasight of their own. Okay, Mag pressuring. Hydron is able to hop, skip, jump away, grapple into spawn. Now Open is down. So the Justice, unsure about whether they should sort of proceed, and Mag was on an island.
Someone did a really nice job there, separating the backline from Mag. Mag dives in. He jumps right on top of Opener, ends up getting the kill, but the bubble, it blocks any opportunity for Krillin. And even Happy in that position to get any type of damage down or healing.
Assassin's really just prodding right now, waiting for Mag to open up a chance to follow up with a blade. Checkmate. Oh, that's beautiful! Margit from downtown, a bionate on Krillin. Not a darn thing he could do.
The Justice just seem all out of sorts. No, they were kind of rolling up until this point. And you know what I say, it's easy, but you know, when you're Widows dunking on somebody at the beginning of like every fight, right? Or getting 2 picks, you can move the card pretty freely. And you see the angles Happy has to play from now, not taking those aggressive angles. It's a little bit harder to find those entry kills.
Yeah, acute angles from him in an ugly scenario for the Justices. They have a large expanse to cross. A lot of threats waiting for them. Here's the dive, here's the blade. Assassin the type to break down the front door instead of sneaking up on you. And Hydron knew his goose was absolutely cooked.
And the Nano's invested here from the Florida Mayhem. They put it onto someone. So this should allow the Justice to move the card a little bit, but more importantly, Happy should be able to get set up on one of these high ground perches. Just start clicking heads as they come out of the spawn. They got to be so careful here. The defense has been pretty good from Florida, though.
Now the Mayhem are like the turtles that need to make it to the water. You know what I mean? Happy gets to set up and watch them come out of spawn. Big bionate. Hydron tries to go for the Bastion play. And that bio gets shrugged off here. So the Mayhem, how well are they set up? Someone not able to find purchase there on Happy, who's able to get away. Still wants to commit here. Okay. Happy needs to go to his Who's going to get topped up here. Infrasight got to be popped. Hydron doesn't have it available right now.
It's just sick angles, and Hydron's not going to have it because he switched to the Bastion. Goes back to Bastion again, going to come out of the spawn.
Oh, it's a Mayhem classic!
Little wheels mode.
Echoes of Zephyr, but it's not going to get the job done this time. Points for creativity and a big old throwback to yesteryear.
Yeah.
The Justice are going to get what they came for. They get the map done, no time left.
Sure, Mayhem fans would love some of those previous strats to be left in the past.
That was against the Houston Outlaws on this very map.
Oh, the Outlaws fans remember.
Oh dear. One of the more cantankerous events in Overwatch League history.
Yeah, very cantankerous.
What is that?
I agree. It's just extremely cantankerous.
Killing me. Getting the map done there for the Justice, though, feels like a win, especially with how much they got slowed down. And they really struggled for Assassin to find a way to get in position to actually get that Genji in someone's face. Now, Happy? All right, switching over to the Ashe here, Matt.
It's quite interesting. Playing the Ashe here in this position. Maybe it's because they saw that Florida played the Tracer Genji the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to play the Ashe with the Dynamite can hurt some players up close. Coach Gun, be a little bit more defensive.
Cheers for the Florida Mayhem erupting. See what they can do here. Again, finishing the map is the bare minimum. So it needs to be something a little more than that. No Symmetra play to begin with. Genji Tracer seems to be the order of the day here. A lot of pressure on backlines, and Happy sort of preparing for that in advance.
Yep. It's what they ran the other day. So they ran the Widow at the start, but when the Widow wasn't working, they switched to this. So coming right away, it looks like Hydron going back. So I like this switch. Hydron sees that they have the Ashe. Don't play the Genji, like don't commit to the Genji. Outrange this Ashe. Play the Widowmaker. This is an opportunity for you to start taking over some of these angles.
There are definitely some parts of the map where the Widow is heavily favored, depending on the angles that Hydron chooses to take. And you can see that, I mean, with Happy being conspicuously absent from sightlines right now, he's conceding a bit of ground. Oh, okay, Assassin.
And a nice shot.
Body shot's enough to take down the Tracer.
See what the Widowmaker can do here. Just force this positioning, right? And even if you don't force the positioning per se, it makes you so cautious to cross gaps and take routes you normally would take, because just one shot from that Widow is going to seal the deal, and that is an easy point A.
Man. The Justice, I wouldn't even say they lost an intrinsic part of their setup there with Assassin going down early. It's nice to have, but if you can execute a dive of your own, it's fine. But who dives with Mag at that point? Happy's just not in a position to do anything about that.
I also just feel like it's a really good comp switch from the Florida Mayhem. Take advantage of the Ashe play.
Take advantage of Checkmate's Genji as well, which is definitely of some renown.
Now you look at like Hydron and Checkmate. If you can get a pick here early, you can set a really fast time to take this second checkpoint.
Another very threatening biotic grenade there from Sirmajet. A little easy to hit these, as you just got to get him inside the shuttle.
I wonder if the plan is to
stay... Assassin. Oh, no.
I wonder if the plan is to stay on the Ashe. Ooh, a nice headshot there. That's a grapple up and a headshot on the Krillin. I wonder if the plan is to stay on the Ashe, hope that you can dive Hydron and give him trouble that switches him off of that. And then maybe you think the Ashe is a little bit more effective. Because you weren't going for that, right? You probably would have conceded and maybe have gone for the Widow matchup.
Happy maybe regretting that now, as he's really not had a lot of opportunities to put any form of pressure or have teammates put pressure on Hydron. Checkmate has a blade here, takes note of Happy's position, and there it is! The Widow outranging the Ashe, and Hydron quicker on the trigger finger, apparently. Checkmate tries to take off, and he's blasting off again. It's going to be Nano Boost here on towards Opener and someone. The Mayhem really want to get this one home right now. That Pulse Bomb not connecting for Assassin. That's going to hurt the defensive endeavors here for the Justice. Returning to the card is someone, but there's still a Tracer there to deal with.
And Maggot jumped in really deep, trying to kill Hydron. Finally makes it back to the team, and Happy finishes him off. But the Justice, they barely hold on. Let's see now if they can get on top of this shuttle and lock it down for a little bit. They need to buy themselves some more time. Also, during that fight, Krillin gets the nano on the opener. The nano brig is filthy when the fights happen on the cart like that.
No one can hide from my sight.
Yeah, the Inspire healing now, just ticking off everything you do is pretty ridiculous. As well as your legitimate damage threat. Oh, okay, Hydra not ready for this. Oh, it's dangerous. Mag hunting you, but look at that. The Infrasight yields all the information that Hydron needs to complete another crucial kill on Happy.
Oh, that's a biotic grenade that's on a checkmate as he pulls out the blade. He's got to be careful. The rally was going.
No fear. He'll chase down Krillin, who's going to get dispatched as well. Here are the Mayhem, well positioned. Everything's going their way. And they've got a lot of time to work. We're still 2:40 on the clock. Sailing this one home, a whopping 4:06.
Yes, I believe Happy going to have to jump off the side. Got that close spawn, not going to make it out. You're going to get a kill on the both supports here. So to give them a little bit of payload progress, not a extremely nasty stagger. Still gonna get this cart pretty close to this first corner.
I mean, finishing the map with more than a minute in the time bank is going to be pretty huge. It can still be tough, obviously, hitting that point A, but the Mayhem, the heuristic, the sort of flowchart of who to go for first and how to set themselves up with a crucial first kill has really been paying off. Hydra, no, doesn't want to be here. No, he's overcommitted. And he just had to go for it there. There's obviously you slide off sort of curved edges here, so he just jumped a little bit too far forward.
It's quite unfortunate. You're going to have to wait for him to make anything happen as you're kind of dry on ultimates here for the Mayhem. Probably looking at what? A nano onto either checkmate for some extra damage up on the high ground or someone for survivability and then into a primal maybe.
Happy's still on that Ash, still convinced that it's the answer. Bob will definitely be helpful. Someone is going to be sleeping off that ultimate, much to the chagrin of the Mayhem, and here comes Big Bad Bustling Bob. It's a Winston over the top for Mag, looking to compound the issues rather for the Mayhem. Assassin doesn't find the stick there. Can the Justice get some of that breathing room? But it's really a question of what they can do with it, Matt. They did nothing in that previous phase.
Hydron with a jump shot over the wall. Going to take out Krillin again. He's done that twice now.
Some classy stuff, and okay, there was a big opening there. I think Opener realized that Hydron would have been lurking. A very odd angle to take, and that's what you're going to do.
Rally use here in nano.
It's time. Unsheathe the blade. Krillin can't get away in time. He's fallen first in the consecutive last two fights. Mag is low, gets nanoed now. It's going to expire.
Do you think it was a little bit early for some of those ultimates? He might be able to come back and fight this now for the Justice.
For the nano maybe. Mag still had to jump out despite the damage mitigation. Now sat on the point. Sleep on someone. Wasn't actually interrupted. That's crucial for the Justice. They can now make the counter dive work.
He used a lot of the ultimates there for the Florida Mayhem. Maybe you thought that was enough with a body block to get it over the line. As Hydron now switches to the 76. Oddly enough, this is actually where I might like the Ashe a bit better. You can outrange. It's going to be consistent damage from the 76, but you see these pot shots at a distance.
Oh, Happy! That's just bizarre. Checkmate. Not able to descend there. Nice little headshot.
The Ashe can control the high ground a bit. It's a really nice pick into this, I feel like.
Another bot build very quickly for Happy, after his previous one, I think, being the first in the round.
He's going to do what he does.
Oh, Marjed might have opened this up in a big way, though. Someone going to drop in here. Primal Rage now. Happy, mindful of the ultimate that he still has. Dynamite to pressure those healing resources. Oh, okay. Great shots from Hydron. He emerges from his hiding place that he was forced into by the Ashe. Catches Happy off guard. Someone is definitely a cause for concern for Happy.
Get hit with a biotic grenade. Killed instantly, and that's going to be 2 kills for Assassin. Turns this. Florida may not be able to finish this off. They looked like they were in pole position. I think they actually used too many ultimates maybe in that one fight.
Starting to run out of a little bit of gas here. 22 seconds left. They come out of the shuttle phase with over 4 minutes of time. That is all we're gone now. And just finishing the map. It's going to have to be enough for them here.
Just look at the Ashe, though. Happy just chunks some of these players down as they walk on in.
Still has the Bob. It's going to be unreal A sixth player in this next fight, and in comes Bob now. Overtime is going to be beginning. Someone trying to give himself a place to sojourn for a time. Bubble thrown down on the card on Hydron. Nano Visor here, but there's no targets. No one to shoot at. Opener Shield's going to get worked down, and Mag has the Primal Rage, but he's been hit with a Biotic Grenade. His time may be short, but Opener's the one that gets the Nano Boost here, and Happy was waiting for Hydron. Biotic Field deployed here by the Soldier 76, and Hydron wins out in that duel. That's one. Checkmate. That's 2-1 Mag. Opener under a lot of pressure here, and Checkmate is low as well. The Winston's going to get involved though, and finally the Brig is brought down. The Florida Mayhem come alive when it counts.
Last fight, they come up clutch. So, man, these the first map I think was definitely in favor of the Justice, but these last two are going down to the wire. Is a minute on the clock for both teams. This is where you start to think even the Widowmaker's even more dangerous, right? Because we know how impactful those first kills are in these fights. If you get one early, whether it's like for Hydron or Happy, that could give you enough payload movement here with only a minute on the clock to be the difference in winning this map.
Some of the most electrifying moments in Overwatch League history have occurred in, overtime, extra inning scenarios on Gibraltar. So volatile. Teams have always had to play Winston-based comps with some sort of long-range hit-scan pressure. They really make the fights hard to predict. Now, in Overwatch 2, it's even more volatile. It reminds me of, San Francisco, Seoul on this particular map. Throw that back to grand finals of old.
So we'll get the Widow duel here between Hydron and Happy. Hydron started to heat up there towards the end. When he was starting to play the Widow of his own, starting to really pop off.
It's a huge ask for a rookie, right? Going up against Happy on a map that favors Widowmakers and sort of have that sense of confidence. It's going to have to go big again here for sure. Well, Happy! That's the start the Justice were looking for. And now hunting for more.
Now you try and, you're the Justice, get this high ground, get even better angles for Happy.
30 seconds remaining.
Down to 30 now. Happy again looking for Hydron's projected position. He is correct. Missing that shot means he might want to reposition somewhat. Maybe aid the card and get in the extra progress. And Opener's here with a body grenade. Yep, this might be time to go for the Mayhem. Someone also doused with one. He has to back away. Remember, there's no Tracer here to chase down those low-health Winstons.
And with the Widowmaker sightlines, it forces everybody into the server room. This Mag's got to jump up. He's here with a Biotic Grenade. Somebody's got to touch this cart.
Overtime pretty generous here, but still the Justice have to drop someone down. And they do. Hydron! What a time to come alive! Now we can sit back here and punish Opener, who had his shield turned in the wrong direction. A good result here for the Florida Mayhem if they can hold the cart right here. It's Assassin the last one to try and stand up. That'll be that.
Yeah, had Surmajet hit a Biotic Grenade onto both supports as well on the high ground. This Hydron though evens it up, right? That Widow battle, Happy gets the first one, Hydron bounces back. Still not like a guarantee, right? Like where we see this payload progress, it can be tough to get it through that tunnel, especially, I know if the defensive Widowmaker is locking that down.
One Widow headshot.
Do you think
one Biotic Grenade could cause this to go either way?
Do you think they'll play the Widow on D now? They came out with the Ashe last time. Do you think they play the Widow?
It didn't look great, but okay, the safe play. Happy locks in the Soldier 76.
Where the payload like box of victory is, like maybe you can play around the Soldier and kind of play like server room and then like the back of this A side point, right, and just block off like the lines of sight and really try and play that like close to medium range damage game. But what are you going to do here on this high ground, right? You can't really contest that.
Yeah, Happy might just want to play for the anti-Winston pressure. If someone overextends here, get blown up pretty quickly by that burst damage. Also, Checkmate will be threatened. Here we go. The Florida Mayhem have a minute to exceed the Justice's payload push. Oh, there's a switch here for Hydron. He's waiting for some scouting.
I think he's just trying to get a little bit of info of what they're running on the other side. So
He's committed. Spots Mag, no connection. A cart is on the move. At some point, the Justice are going to have to pounce.
Or they might not. They can play that defensive setup like I was talking about. It looks like they've kind of back up and conceded to this. Is they know, hey, we need one fight, right? In this type of position. And what are the Widow sightlines looking like here?
Hydron sneaking that right side, trying to pressure Mag. You can see him there in the wireframe. Okay, Happy now emerges from his hiding placement. Hydron may have got the drop with him. He's spotted by Assassin, who is reluctant to commit here. The headshot. Happy take it down. The Mayhem makes some magic. Mag trying to stall out here, but this is done. It's over. The Florida Mayhem come up with the goods.
It's a big gamble by the Justice. You're playing for that one fight. And Hydron able to get one, and things just spiral out of control. He puts a shot into Happy in the server room, finishes him off. Florida puts themselves one game away from advancing in the lower bracket.
Who would have thought? Widow Superstar Happy the one to opt out of the duel, try and take the safe option. But it's not always the best, especially when you're playing the defensive Winston comp. Well, they opt to let the game come to them, and Florida bring it in full force. Now the Mayhem set themselves up in a match point, elimination point here. The Justice are gonna have to dig deeper.
Florida Mayhem looking pretty tight, pretty coordinated, and individually talented as well. They got me sweating.
Oh, look what's popular.
Oh, he sees this there. No, he kicks him as well. Oh, Kevsinger's headshot. A kick and a headshot. This is why Grill is such a big player. Gets two. Nice. I didn't see him actually on the flank.
There's Coalescence coming through to heal everybody up. J-Mag instantly goes down though. Xing at the back. Nice little three-piece. That's what we wanted to see. Make that four.
Literally 1 feet. You gotta get the heals.
They're so unique, they're so creative, and the narratives have yet to be formed.
See how aggressive the players of Florida are. It always seems like Florida's starting the fights.
One last map pick remaining for the Washington Justice. By God, it better be a good one.
Yeah, they got to come up big here. The map pick will be Coliseum. So Florida Mayhem getting back in their seats, ready to play. Looking to close this series out. So starting to come alive. The first map was really all Justice, and since then 2 close maps back to back, but coming up clutch there in the end. Push, it's interesting. I actually thought more teams, I thought we would probably see like almost all new Queen Street throughout the weekend, but today we've seen some Coliseum. I think we're obviously going to see it in this series. For that long-range hit scan, interesting that it's a Justice pick, because we've seen teams play like the Zarya and the Doom here, and Mag, we've seen him play the Doom, but not really the Zarya. So, now there's a street here called Winton Road.
Yep, it's not far away. I did see that post on Reddit. It's meant to be. I mean, these two teams love their Winton-based compositions. Coliseum likely to feature those as well. And hey, look, the Mayhem obviously try to choose that Gibraltar map against the Atlanta Reign. You can see what they're looking to try and do. And again, when Hydron has some confidence behind him, this team can really go anywhere. I feel like the first to fold in that Battle of Widows was Happy. Now, I know a team decision, of course, to choose your composition. But in that case, the discretion, them trying to be a little safer, actually ended up being a greater risk to them.
Especially when you have a player that's that good at that hero, and the other team's going to run it, you might as well mirror it until it really goes sideways.
You're going to be thinking about what could have been if you're the Justice there. You've got a player that can turn a game on its head at any point. Happy was not put in a position to do so.
Because he was hitting some crazy shots too. It wasn't like he was missing and getting kind of taken advantage of on that roll. Like, it really started to look kind of poor when it was on the Ash, right? Where he was just getting dove constantly.
No, just shooting Winston bubbles the whole time. That's it.
So Washington Justice, I firmly believe this will probably be the comp that they run. Be surprised if we see any changes. Also, no subs for them today. Yesterday, I believe they brought in Decay at times. Today, we have not seen any subs. All right, so Florida Mayhem, look at this match. They're going to come out with that Zarya-based composition with the Reaper. So, like I mentioned, this is a map that teams play this type of composition on. And the Florida Mayhem probably know that, hey, the chances of the Justice playing this are going to be very low. They're going to play either, like, on the off chance, maybe a Doomfist composition. But
the Justice
really
have the players to do that, though.
Yes.
They have Ilios.
But he's not in.
No, that's what I'm saying, but they just don't want to play that style. I guess Assassin, though, able to snip Hydron away from the Mayhem setup here. The Mayhem want the Justice to send Mag in first, but this gives Assassin all the time to work around them. Remember, this comp requires you to be a little bit more compact. Assassin, that gives him so much more room to stretch his legs.
Bionic Grenade comes in. Big one from Krillin, but they have to back up as big damage comes down early on. Looks like Washington gonna come out on top as some kills just being traded out.
And you can see they're aware of the threat of that Reaper, and they do lose Mag to it. But they knew they had an advantage going to that fight after Assassin paved the way. They just have to be a little bit more selective about when they make those engagements. The Mayhem can't sit in the corner forever, man.
And they're not going to get that much barrier progress out of this because a bunch of kills come down for Florida. They have the closer spawn, and you see, yeah, Washington, they back up.
Have to. You have to players.
They're going to have to concede some space here, and we're going to get another fight in the long haul again. For the Justice, though, you have Attack Visor already.
That's in one fight? Unreal. Good start for Happy here. on the same hero that maybe have led to the Justice's demise on Gibraltar. An Assassin coming from a familiar angle now. Bubbles exhausted for someone, and Assassin makes sure that kill is confirmed, and that's when he can go for the dive now. Yeah, Checkmate's looking like confused Gibraltar, really unsure about how to make use of Reaper's close-range efficacy without a Zarya.
This has been ugly.
Oh, man.
Thus far. This Krillin in opener can push up a little bit, try and get some of this high ground. You see that's where they're trying to set Happy up. Opportunity to land some big damage as players walk back, as you're gonna have to dump key ultimates in here for Florida. It's gonna be a primal already. Here's Onimos here with a biotic grenade.
Yeah, a good amount of pressure here. Still Mag not looking to fully commit. They're trying to get the car past this scarier part of the map. It's gonna be Hydron dropping down, starting to take matters into his own hands. But the Justice are gonna be happy with, you know, upwards of 50 meters here on bot progress.
It's an awesome push. You see a lot of teams like get this far, maybe a little bit further, like 70, right, meters, and just kind of call it a day. So we'll see now. It'll be the Florida Mayhem who have an opportunity with this Graviton Surge.
Florida again, they're going to be careful about where they take fights because they have to sort of go uphill. I want to avoid that. Again, Assassin playing from that side angle. These approaches are pretty predictable for Tracer, as there's only one sort of wide open area outside of this central part of the map. Ponderously does that barrier move. Now Assassin, okay, so he finds elimination. It's another one that's set up by Krillin. Nano Boost now being given over towards Mag, and Checkmate is really unsure about where to put himself. He's so spaced out from everybody, and it's an easy sleep dart connection, and he's dispatched.
And they invest a sound barrier there, Florida. And it was so late, maybe it was meant to try and keep someone alive, but it was so late that they got absolutely nothing for it. Is what, if a Grav comes down now, right, you're gonna have the sound barrier available for the Washington Justice. And look at this, the Justice, they move the bot up, now they run away.
Again, it's, yeah, you want to take fights inside this central area of the map if you can.
Yep.
Well, this is starting to become familiar. The Graviton Surge comes down here, but it's going to be a sound barrier in response, and Happy is a tactical visor here, forcing Checkmate away. He goes for a Death Blossom. He's able to eat up Happy at the very least, but that's a beautiful predictive Helix Rocket, and Assassin's not happy about that elimination.
So you have Checkmate chase down Mag, that's a big kill. Get the tank out of the equation here is the bot pushing the barrier. Closer and closer, you might actually even take the lead off of this.
Yeah, it's about what happens, you know, when the Justice get back and have this just a natural high ground to drop off of. Mag wastes no time getting involved here. Big bite grenade start for Krillin. Hydron got bubbled there from someone to sort of cleanse that effect off. But Assassin is still a legitimate threat here. Pulse Bomb is going to be available. Beefs that one. And Hydron, though, well, he can't miss, literally.
3 kills for Hydron. 2 of them with the visor is, I mean, I guess it's the downside of pushing up Balin, because now you've let Florida take the lead.
Not a good reason for the Justice to suffer so much in that fight, I'll be honest. Hydron obviously good timing with that attack visor, and Margin had a nano boost. But still, not a good look for the Justice here after a pretty decent start. Sleep on Mag, that nano is going to go to waste.
Still will get a few kills here for the Justice. You'll be able to turn that fight in your favor, but you played so lax up until this point. You thought you had enough progress, you get backing out, taking the fights in the tunnel, which we see a lot of teams do. There was an opportunity though where they had a big ultimate advantage. They got to push for a little bit more progress. They don't, and that may end up coming to bite them, because now they're going to have to take another fight just about middle of the map.
We see so many teams get punished for taking their foot off the gas on this particular map. The Mayhem now have a lead, pretty comfortable considering there's only, what, 2 minutes left in the round. Animo needs to be careful, he has to beat here, just the Bionade is just too risky. And the Mayhem say, okay, that's all we have to spend, that's probably worthwhile.
And now with the progress they'll get, the bot moves a bit faster, right? Back towards the barrier. If the
Happy! Oh, someone, you gotta love that!
So if the Justice end up winning a fight, let's say, the next fight's gonna take place back in that middle of the map.
And potentially be in overtime.
Right, so you're in a scenario now for the Justice, which is brutal. A minute and 17 on the clock. They're marching the bot towards your spawn. You're gonna need to win what? Like, you're looking at like 4, 5 consecutive fights to come back.
In goes Mag, Primal Rage in his back pocket here. The Justice have plenty to spend on those ultimates, but they have to ration them to some degree. Happy with the tactical visor though, well equipped to deal with this. But it was never a question about winning this fight, no. It was about the consecutive ones now that need to come out one after another for the Justice. This next one, they're going to be going up against a Death Blossom without a beat.
And you're going to have a Nano Visor as well in this large area. And look how I mentioned you're going to take this fight in the middle of the map. The bot is just going to get there. You're basically going to be fighting at neutral, 30 seconds to go.
Tournament life on the line for the Washington Justice. 30 seconds left in the round, and they need to get another 35 plus meters of bot progress. Not a good situation to be in right now. Florida want to keep the pressure up as well. Look, Checkmate inching towards the front lines. TP into the back. Oh, he's going to bring the house down. Happy at the very least. He's going to drop it. Hydron. It's the other arm of the pincer. Not a darn thing the Justice could do about this one. It's Mag's Primal Rage met with resounding disapproval as the Florida Mayhem pull us into overtime, and Lay will bring the gavel down on the Justice, sending them home.
The Mayhem seal the deal. See how excited they are on stage. So I think that's Hydron waving at the Justice, sending them home. So I think this also gives Florida some renewed confidence, right? You bounce back after a tough loss yesterday. You know the quality of team you are. You come in and beat a Justice team who, even today, I thought the Florida Mayhem would win this series. I thought it would be competitive, but maybe not close. I thought this was a very close series with some of these maps. You look at map 2, 3, and even map 4. Washington had leads in those. Florida had to bounce back. They were able to do so.
These are crucial reps for the Florida Mayhem up against a team that wants to play a really similar style to them. Want to play the Winston-based compositions, want to take risks, especially when it comes to defense, and want to let high-flying DPS players take the spotlight. No shortage of those in this matchup. And again, we talked about Krillin, his fantastic performance yesterday wasn't enough to get them there, and losing these 2 consecutive matches means that our 8th seed, yes, they do depart the tournament first. No Decay today either for the Washington Justice. Makes you wonder, what is the plan there?
It'll be interesting what they look like going into the next stage of our season. Do you start to build a little bit more around Happy, giving him the resources? I bet they would love to see Krillin keep up this level of Ana play. I know maybe we see a more consistent Justice. Maybe not one with like Decay in the lineup that is really explosive, but one that can put these type of performances out game after game.
The Florida Mayhem here definitely should be filled with confidence. Again, there's still a question mark about how they play into Zarya Winston comps. We've seen a taste of theirs, right? We've seen someone make the switch over towards Zarya. And again, look, it wasn't perfect, right? I think this team is really front and center about their flaws, and their execution definitely at times is lacked, but they've been pressured by really quality opposition in both their games. Just to advance here, they're going up against the Dallas Fuel.
I do think the Florida coaching staff, though, can come up with some things that can give Dallas some trouble. We saw, obviously, Dallas in the series against the Gladiators. The Gladiators were looking lights out. But still, maybe there's some stuff in that series you can look at and say, okay, let's replicate this. Let's see how it goes. Maybe there's some map selections, right, they can throw into that series that can throw off Dallas. I would not count Florida out in that one.
We want to hear from the team themselves. Florida Mayhem advancing in this lower bracket. We're going to go down to the stage with Danny and a player interview.
Mr. Matt, thank you very much. Yes, I am here with someone from Florida Mayhem. Amazing job today, someone, and yeah, I do congratulate for, of course, getting the win today. I want to ask though, yesterday you guys had a, loss against the Atlanta Reign, and you guys today were able to bounce back against the Washington Justice. what changes did you guys make coming into today? And also, like, how were you able to bounce back? 첫 번째 질문은 이제 어제 아틀란타와의 경기에서 아쉽게 패배를 한 후 오늘 워싱턴과의 경기에서 굉장히 좋은 모습을 보여주셨는데요. 좀 어떤 이렇게 뭐 변화한 점 같은 게 있었나요? 오늘 경기 들어오면서 좀 어떤 얘기가 오가고 오늘 어떻게 해서 경기를 승리하게 되셨나요?
어제 애틀랜타 경기와는 이제 첫 번째 오프라인 매치를 했는데 다 같이 아나모형을 제외하면 저희 모두가 처음이라서 솔직히 말해서 저희 플레이가 많이 안 나온 것도 있고 조금 더 소극적이게 플레이가 변해서 지고 나서는 이렇게 플레이하면 이길 수 없다. 이제 좀 더 공격적으로 하면서 자신의 플레이를 좀 더 끌어올려라. 이런 말을 많이 하고 서로 많이 다독여주면서 그냥 이긴다는 생각으로 오늘 경기에 임했던 것 같습니다.
I mean, because yesterday's match, it was most of our players is a first-time offline match or LAN, having a match on LAN, other than Animo. Animo was the only player on our team that had that veteran experience. So there were a little bit of nerves, and not only that, I feel like all of the plays that we made, we couldn't really play how we always used to play because it was our first time playing offline. So I felt like we couldn't go as aggressive as we wanted. Not only that, we were playing a little bit more shy. So what we talked about going into today's match was, don't think about all of those stuff. Just go and just give it everything that we got and try to be more aggressive. And I think that really worked out for the Florida Mayhem. All right, my next question, I do have to ask about your compositions. I feel like Florida Mayhem is a team that really almost exclusively uses that Winston dive composition. Does that sort of make you worry about your future matches in the Kickoff Clash? 두 번째 질문은 이제 어떻게 보면 플로리다가 지금 다이브 조합을 메인 위주로 많은 경기를 보여주고 있습니다. 뭐 다른 조합들 좀 잘 안 보여주는 좀 이런 팀인데 좀 그거에 대한 좀 걱정이나 그런 건 없으세요?
저희가 이제 윈스턴 조합이라 해도 이제 DPS를 조합을 바꿀 수도 있고 이제 플레이 스타일도 충분히 바꿀 수 있는 조합이 많기 때문에 저희는 이제 윈스턴 조합이 물론 힘든 조합이 있겠지만 저희가 잘한다면 이긴다는 생각을 많이 하면서 윈스턴 조합이 그리고 밸류를 많이 뽑아낼 수 있는 조합이라고 생각하고 있기 때문에 윈스턴 위주의 조합을 좀 더 선호하는 것 같습니다.
That was very long. All right. First of all, Winston compositions. So even if we do run Winston compositions, we can always switch out different DPS heroes. Not only that, we could also play our play style as well, or differentiate our play style as well. So changing out DPS. And also changing out or switching up our playstyle, even if using the same dive composition. And I do feel like we are very strong on our dive composition as well. So I think that is why we. Give me 1 second, guys. 마지막에 다이브 조합을 계속하는 이유가 뭐라고 하시죠?
저희가 이런 걸 모두 극복할 수 있기 때문에.
극복할 수 있기 때문에. Alright, so yeah, someone says at the very end they are okay with running just the dive because they're that confident. All right, someone, thank you so much for your time, and I'm so sorry about that little trip up. 마지막에 좀 통역이 잘못돼서 죄송합니다. All right, that is all the time we have. Let's go back to our casters.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Danny. Great to hear from someone there, really animated, especially after quite a long game. You can see that energy, that adrenaline that really carried them through Coliseum. A weird map to watch, right? We saw the Mayhem that they opted to try and make this Argy composition work, and they started really slow. You said it was a stinker to begin with. That
map though is like, the map kind of summarizes the Justice though, right? They were really good for what, 6 of the 8 minutes, and then in just those 2 minutes end up just losing them the game. Where it's a tough way to go out if you're Washington.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's talk about our player of the match, though, for the Florida Mayhem. Someone who had to step up in a big way and go up against quality and experienced opposition in the DPS role. Your player of the match is Hydron.
I thought he had a pretty good game today. I thought he was also good in the non-Widow matches against the Atlanta Reign, but today really matched in that Widowmaker, turned it around on Gibraltar. I think on the 76, he was a huge impact.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When it counted, I mean, he stuck to the Widowmaker in this overtime round on Gibraltar, happy, and switched to the Soldier 76, and we saw the Mayhem try and go for something a little more aggressive, right? They wanted to throw caution to the winds, and they trusted Hydron to deliver in an overtime scenario to put them ahead in this series. That means a lot, and this rookie player delivered. Again, over the course of the map, you know, Soldier 76 play was sublime. Really could have asked for too much more. Quite often, Checkmate is, you know, able to go and run wild because of the amount of threat, the amount of healing pressure the Hydron is creating from that Soldier position. Another big step up for the young gun.
And you think this gives them a little bit more confidence to go forward, where someone talked about, like yesterday, some nerves on stage. You think this potentially gives them a little bit more confidence and comfort on stage? Because they're going to need it going against Dallas Fuel tomorrow.
No doubt about it. Speaking of Texas teams, on the other side of this break, we have two more teams fighting for their tournament lives. The Toronto Defiant will be taking on the Houston Outlaws right here. Not a game to be missed, so don't go too far. We'll be back with the Kickoff Clash live from the Esports Stadium, Arlington, after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.